It's Luke Howard Live. Please welcome Luke Howard.
Thank you very much, thank you. Oh, so kind, so kind. Oh, woo, I'm here all morning, it's me. Thank you very much, thank you for that wonderful, beautiful applause. Good morning everybody. It's just gone 10 o'clock, it's 10:02. Lovely, 10:03, lovely to have your company today. We started 2 minutes late, I do apologise. That was just me and my technical issues, or my applauding for some reason wasn't working, so we had to start all over again. So don't worry, because we're here till just after 10:45. Just remember, you'll always get the 45 minutes if we start a bit late. So yeah, we always go on around about 10. We usually start dead on 10, or if there's usually stuff that's not working, then we usually start just after 10, sort of way. So, lots of things to look forward to. We are talking lots of news, and from this week, we're going to cover news that happened during the week, which does include, of course, coronavirus. Of course, that's the only thing we've got to talk about on this show. That's the main thing that we have got to talk about on this show. And one of them that really got to me was to do with universities, and apparently they're going to be spending Christmas on site, and they're forced. They're going to basically spend their lockdown on their campus university site, and I don't think this is right at all. When I saw it on news the other day that they're going to be spending Christmas, which is, I know Christmas is literally, because it's literally 1 month to go today until Boxing Day. Yesterday was actually literally 1 month until Christmas Day, and then 2 days before was actually around, I think, was it Wednesday? Wednesday was exactly a day. 6 months since we went into lockdown, and a lot of people can actually remember that. So we are going to be discussing about students who are going to be self-isolating for 14 days after a 90-day at the Manchester Metropolitan University tested positive for COVID-19. We are going to be discussing that, and a few schools also got sent home earlier on in the week because people have got tested positive for COVID. So we are going to talk about lots of that. We are going to cover it all on today's show, because I don't think it's right that students are going to be spending Christmas alone this year. They need to be with their families. They can't just not spend Christmas on their own. They've got to spend it with their families. It's just not right at all. So, we're going to talk about that later on. So if you'd like to get in touch with the show, 07593 847 105 is the number to text, and of course call as well. I would suggest if you are texting, text the word live and your name and where you are from, not personally, but just where you are from, and we're going to talk about that as well. And of course, we are going to talk about in a moment. The first piece of news that we are going to be talking about is without a carry in the world, so we'll get to that, but without a carry in the world, so we'll talk about that a little bit in a while, and yeah, those are the 2 words of how you can get in touch with Britain's Best Radio Show today. You can also find me on emails. There's 2 different emails, okay? GaryJHoward68@hotmail.com, and there's 345-457@student.hrc.ac.uk. You can also find me on Instagram. It's the Luke Howard fan page. Do add me on there. That's where you get all the info about the show and what is going to be happening on Britain's Best Radio Show. So that's a great way to get in touch with the show. Message me, DM me on there, or whatever you want to do get in touch via there, or leave the message below on there. Or you can also email me at 345-457@student.hrc.ac.uk, like the wonderful Christine Hamilton did during the week. The Brit Battleaxe. I got in touch with her during the week to tell how she was, and then she emailed me back, bless her. So I hope she's doing very well. The wonderful Christine Hamilton, fantastic lady, Brit Battleaxe as they call her. She got in touch with me during the week to see how I was, and that was lovely to hear from her as well. She went, "How the devil are you?" I said, "Oh, I'm really well, thank you." Then you can also use the hashtags, #Luke Howard, #Luke Howard Live, and #listen to the Luke Howard Show. And that is great ways to get in touch with the show. Or #listen to Luke Howard Live. That's great ways to get in touch with the show. So, let's get cracking with other things. So we're also going to... I tell you what. Let's actually start off with whose birthdays it is today. So, famous people's birthdays it is today. So, it's tennis players Serena Williams' 39th birthday today. So happy birthday to the wonderful Serena Williams. It's also Lily Steiner, 32. She's a YouTube star, and we've got not many other people. So there's a lot of YouTube singers and stars as well whose birthdays it is this weekend. Oh, and whose birthdays is it tomorrow? Whose birthday is it tomorrow? So we've got tomorrow, I think we've got anyone famous on here who I know. I've never heard of these people. They're all like famous people from internet and stuff. I don't know anyone from I don't know any famous people from the internet, so I don't know. But we've got reality star Megan McKenna. She's going to be 28 tomorrow. And then on the next day, we've got all these people. Never heard of them in my life. Yeah, so I don't know. On next week's birthdays, I think we'll leave that till next week's show. It's our last show in September, people, would you believe? Last show in September. Where's the time gone? Time's gone so quick this year. Where's it gone? Nobody knows where it's gone. No one knows at all. It's just gone just like that. Lockdown has gone very quick as well. So, sad birthday to the wonderful Serena Williams, whose birthday it is today. It's, so happy birthday to her. It's also today ghost hunting day. And, because this time next month it's going to be Halloween. So lots of you will be going out for your Halloweeny stuff. So, it's the last Saturday in September, which is today, is part of the world's largest ghost hunt. And it does kick off with an annual international investigation of the paranormal. So we'll leave that there. So, so all I'm going to say is happy ghost hunting day today. So go out and do your ghost hunting, which sounds absolutely great. So, let's talk about that story now about the, I was going to talk about, which was the story about, we're talking about Without a Carrie in the World. So I think this is a story about a family who went across the UK, were braced themselves for another 6 months of COVID-induced misery. And this was when the Prime Minister later, his fiance escaped the gloom with a luxury holiday in the Italian lakes. Now, staying at Lake Como, where this is George Clooney had a home, and his favourite holiday destination at the Bahamas. Carrie Symonds travelled with a group of 3 girlfriends. She stayed at a £600 a night Grand Hotel in Semolina, and a favourite of the super rich, where 2 days. This is in a suite that can cost upwards of £6,400. By the way, still to come later on, I'm going to let you know how my week's been this week. I've been everywhere this week. It's all going to come along later on in the show. But going back to this story, a 32-year-old conservatist was spotted. This was wandering along the lakeside at Blueston, carrying with Red and her 4-month-old son with Boris Johnson in a baby sally. The next day, Carrie and her friends made use of one of the Tamazio's £300 an hour boats for a 2-hour trip off the lakes. Casted safely homes and waterside villages. Now, Carrie seemed very relaxed, and she was smiling and laughing with her friends. And a British tourist told Mail Online that it was, if she didn't have, I think it was a care in the world. And at one stage, the party did pass a sign reading Marina, perhaps a reminder of Mr. Johnson's ex-wife, Marlena, and Wheeler, following their divorce earlier this year. Now, Carrie took her relaxing break a few days after it was claimed that Boris had flown out to the Italian city of Perugia, although it later emerged that a witness had been seen. Former Prime Minister Tony Blair insisted that her joint follows. I think it was that it was following reports that the Prime Minister is increasingly, I think he was unhappy in Downing Street and still struggling with his own. I think it was a serious bout of coronavirus and worrying about being able to afford a nanny since becoming Prime Minister. Mr. Johnson has seen his slavery cut to $150,000 after he had to give up his Daily Telegraph column, which paid £275,000. That's £275,000, by the way, a year, and other enigmatic speaking engagements. And he has to support at least a part 4 of his children. Now, speaking to the Sunday Times, as a senior Conservative claimed This is all weighing very heavily on him, and he said, I think you can see if even in some of his public appearances and the sort of misery etched on his face. He doesn't seem to be enjoying being at a helm in rough seas, though, because Downing Street denied the claims and insisted the Prime Minister that he had fully recovered from COVID-19 since leaving hospital in April this year. It was business as usual for Boris and Boris's son the other day as he travelled to North Penry Police HQ, and days after, I think it was announcing tougher punishments and those who float the COVID restrictions. He said, I should have my mask on. I'd been said to one officer as she delivered the CPR to a dummy during a first aid demonstration. And there are lots of pictures here on the marina holiday and the hotel they stayed in as well. So there are lots of stories about that, and that's a very interesting story. Now let's talk about Cineworld now then, because Cineworld has arrived of an uncertain future in the event of the second national lockdown, as it slumped to a half-year loss of 1.3 billion. Now, the cinema giant posted a plunging regeneration as a result of a pandemic from pre-tax profits 110 million a year ago and future impact of COVID-19 on the group. Cineworld has said that in a severe but plausible scenario of a second wave of Laurentian cinema closures, it would breach banking approachments and operate from early next year. It added that current trading has been encouraging, considering and Sigma-6 and with solid demand of a spy thriller Tencent received earlier this month. We'll leave that one there as well. The temperature has really dropped today. Ooh, it's cold. This week, that's another thing that I was going to talk about. The temperature has really dropped this week. It's gone really cold. It's freezing. I was freezing cold yesterday. The temperature has gone down very much this week. Oh, gosh, it's really cold. Oh, so I've got a nice warm cup of apple and cinnamon tea now, which means this winter is truly on its way. So people wrap up warm when you go out next week, because it is going to get very cold. But I think it's going to get up to 16 degrees next week. It's going to get quite hot next week. But if I was you, I would wrap up warm and make yourselves warm. Not cold, please. Warm. So, let's talk about the Manchester Metropolitan now then, because they're saying that universities students are forced to stay in during this during lockdown. Now, hundreds of university students in Manchester have been forced to self-isolate with immediate effect. Now, up to 1,700 students will isolate for 14 days after 99 at Manchester Metropolitan University all tested positive for COVID-19. Now, students across the city have been COVID-19, and they have been urged to attend virtual refreshers events and avoid big parties. But some have said they had no warning of a lockdown and are now trapped in halls of residence. Most parts of Greater Manchester are subject to stricter restrictions after a spike in coronavirus cases. Now, Manchester City Council have said it was unpredictably a local lockdown to stop the transmission of the virus among students and prevent it getting into the wider community. Now, the evidence is so far suggests that transmission has been within the student community, and it said the lockdown comes as students in Scotland were told not to go to pubs, parties or restaurants this weekend in a bid to stem a spate of coronavirus outbreaks. But Joe Grady of the UCU University Staff Union said it was irresponsible for the universities to have been luring students back onto the basis that they can have a social life at university and that they can face-to-face teaching. Students in accommodation blocks at Burley campus and the Cambridge halls in Manchester are affected by the latest lockdown. Now, Megan Synergy, a student at Manchester Metropolitan, she said that we were getting ready to go out and looked out to the security and police outside the halls. They say we can't leave, but we haven't received any emails from the university about this, and they seem to be holding us in against our will. He said, my dad has been calling the university to find out what is going on, and at Burley Chip Wilson 19 said that we have been told that we are not allowed to have And if we do, we cannot come back. So we are all stuck inside, was what he said. And we are all worried about how we will get food and how long this will last. Well, I think it's going to last forever and ever and ever, to be honest with you. But he said we only got an email to say that it was happening.